Videos for people who are handling or dealing with this 1987 Alfa Romeo for the purposes of filming or any other thing I might rent it out as. Going to go through three main things. One, using the top. Two, driving it around, or at least enough for you to get it around a parking lot or onto a trailer. And three, other things you might want to know. From top up position, whether it's doors open or doors closed, doesn't matter. Really hard down on this. Make sure it's not still tucked in. Same on the other side. Toss it back. There is a tonneau cover, which I will show later, but honestly it looks okay from most angles without that. Putting the top back up, a little trick here. You're going to have both doors open at least a little bit. If you're strong enough, you can grab from in the driver's seat, but you may want to do that from outside the car. Now, this takes a lot more force than you're going to think it should. What you're doing is you're lining up these little brackets right here. Pull down with this hand. You can see I'm pulling down pretty hard and then snap it in. Sometimes you may even have to wrap your arm around and pull with this arm while hitting with this one. It can take a fair amount of force, but if you hit a hard stop where it feels like you're just up against something metal, the top is probably not down far enough. Second one will usually fight you harder because now you've got the other side tucked in. Here I'm hitting a hard stop, so I've got to push harder, pull it down as hard as I can, and yeah, that took a lot of force. Then you can close the doors. Make sure just that the top ended up on the inside. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as it's on the inside, we're happy, you're happy, no one gets their butt wet. Starting the car, you're gonna use this smaller key, the one with no edge on it. I actually don't know what that is used for. This one is locking the door. Don't lock the door, don't even worry. I'd rather someone just rifle through it than damage something trying to get in. Key over here. Here's where we get to safety stuff. Number one, if you are on a steep incline, you have to really pull this parking brake for it to hold when you're out of gear. Really, you should just never park it anywhere other than in gear. If it's in neutral on a steep enough slope, it may roll away. But this car does not have a safety interlock for the starter. This is the big safety thing you have to know. What that means, you put it in gear and you try and start it with the clutch released, it will just move forward on you. It could even potentially start and then you're going at idle speed into whatever else. Clutch in and in neutral just to be safe, because if you screw it up, it will run someone over. Of course, once it's parked, leave it in first gear. Reverse is all the way down and over here. Startup on this is basically like a normal car, new car. You don't have to pump the gas or anything when you're starting it. Just clutch in, crank. It will pretty much sort itself out. If it's a dead cold, you may have to give it a couple little blips for it to settle. Moving it around, unless you're on a real steep hill, honestly, you don't have to touch the gas. Just, if you know how to drive clutch, just slowly let the clutch out. Other little quirks, if you have any reason to be in the trunk, I don't think you will, but you do have to really slam the trunk. Make sure that it's lined up with the spoiler there. Trunk release is back here. Door release, pull back to you like so. This window specifically sometimes will not roll all the way up using the crank. You can physically just pull it. And the heater and AC basically don't exist, so just don't worry about it. Lights and turn signal are here. Rotate to turn the lights on. Turn signal. Wipers, although you probably won't need that, they're up here. Horn, got 2 notes of horn. You know, give your sound guy real continuity nightmares, whatever you want to do. This is the tonneau cover. There's no functional or safety reason that you need to do this. It will look a little nicer. You're just going to clip using these clips. And come around until that's all nicely on. To get this off, come under and pull up on the clips. And once they're all loose, you can just honestly just toss it here and just leave it. If you really want to, for a more period look, you can press that button and then just pull this out. Yeah, you will have this gaping at you, but it's a little less obvious, maybe easier to hide in post than this very 2000s stereo. And then just toss it in here. Other than that, please just be nice to it. I don't really have anything else this nice. I can't afford to fix this thing necessarily if you break stuff. It's older than I am. Please be gentle with my baby and have a good shoot. Good luck with whatever you have seen fit to use this for. Thanks.